Hello and welcome to a weekly art roundup video. This one is going to be a little bit weird and I do have an announcement to make in just a moment, but let's get started. So this is a video where I just review what I've done and just go over it, give it a little bit of a critique and set goals for the next week. So just to start off with, I did do some morning sketches. So this was the last one. With the little rodents, the little cuties, and I did do one with birds. I haven't edited that one yet, so when I get around to editing and uploading that, you can view this morning sketch, and so I will put that aside. Now I did do some horse stuff this week. Just to let you know, I did have that week off and it didn't really do me any favors, to be honest, because I wanted to use that time to do some other work, but I didn't end up doing it. So I did do some work on a private painting that I'm making for someone, and I probably will do some more work on that, but I don't know. I felt really aimless, and I guess I started getting stressed out by all sorts of different things, and I wasn't actually able to do much at all. So I mean, I guess the time off was supposed to be time off, and I've got a problem with that because I feel like I always should be doing something, because if I'm not doing something then I'm wasting my time, and I guess that's something that I have to work through as well. So in the second week, which is the stuff that I'm showing you now, I did set some goals for myself. I didn't reach all of them because I did start to get stressed out again. So I'll just show you what I actually did manage to do. So with the drawings, this was the first one that I did, and I wrote down that I don't like this one. I think it was because it was too stiff, I don't know, it just didn't have any life to it, and it's obviously not in proportion, but it just wasn't what I'm after. It's not a style that I want to continue going down. So I did do it again, and you can see this little one here down the bottom, and I did like it better. I felt that with the more lines, with the more I don't know, things visually, it was more visually interesting to me than that top one with the clean heavy lines. I didn't like that at all. A little bit of mess, a little bit of rough gives it a little bit more interest, I think. So I'm not going to try and perfect everything like this top one. I mean, obviously it's not perfect, but I think you get my drift. So these little rough ones just have more life in them, and I want to continue to do them more like this. So yeah, I think this one came out a lot better. And I did try to do some anatomy studies and just trying generally to work on drawing horses, basically, is what it is. I did try and draw from armature. So this is the same, I used the same reference for this. The reference was this one, and you can see I've done the little skeletons inside, and that's actually how I started. I started with that skeleton, and then I just put the blue highlighter over the top just to fill it out, to see the horse. And then I thought with the skeletal structure in there, the armature, I could try to turn it around, to flip it horizontally. So that's what I did, and I actually think that went quite well, considering how difficult I find turning forms to be and flipping forms. I think I mentioned in the previous video about how everything was facing the same direction, and I felt that was going to cause me issues in the future. So I did have a go at flipping that horizontally, and with the reference still facing this way. So doing the calculations in my head on if the reference is facing this way and I want to turn it this way, how would I go about doing that? And I think that was quite successful. It's not accurate, obviously, but it is a fairly good representation of the pose of the horse. Is definitely not in proportion, but I'm not too worried about that just yet, because that wasn't what I was working on. I was working on trying to flip the image, trying to draw a reference, but draw it in another direction. So that was that one. And then I had a little bit more of a go at it, because I thought, okay, well, this is I might be getting somewhere. So this is all the same pose. Obviously, there are some issues, but this was the reference, this one here. And I actually think I did a pretty good job in trying to represent, I mean, it was a photo of a horse. It wasn't a photo of a skeleton. And I think I did a pretty good job in representing where the bone structures would be, especially the hip, because you remember I was having trouble turning the hip. And yeah, I think that actually went quite well. And I thought I would do it from another direction. So I wrote down here, practice turning the reference. So the reference is the same reference, which is just a photo of a horse, not a skeleton. And I practiced doing it in different directions. So here was it. I tried to do it flipped, this little one here. And this is why, because there is no specific reference of the horse in this view, camera view, it is kind of doing it from imagination, but using the reference as the reference, I guess, which is how I want to eventually treat references and not just be beholden to copying what I see. So they are very rough, but these are just to start out because it's not a skill that I'm very good with yet. So I think these are pretty good progress considering. So I tried to do it from the front, or kind of 3/4 front, and then I tried a completely different view. But I don't know if you can see, there's a little little marks on the ground because I thought I would just try it from a completely different camera view, the same pose. Obviously, it's probably not accurate, but it is. I think that was a pretty good shot at it. And then I did the blue highlighter over the top because I had trouble seeing the actual horse. So it's it's in the ballpark, I would say, of that actual pose, not being good, but of representing that pose. And then I had to go, as you can see down the bottom, just doing it from the side. What would that pose look like if I did it from the side? And yeah, look at the little head. I didn't put too much effort into the head and the neck. Obviously, I was more concerned with the body, so that was just an afterthought. But yeah, I think the body structure is pretty good. I think that could be the pose. I did have a little bit of trouble trying to figure out which legs are down and which legs are up, because you're flipping things around and trying to re-establish your viewpoint. But yeah, I thought that was quite good because I didn't do those turning forms last time and I felt a little bit bad about not actually being able to do those. So then I had another go at a gesture, and I think the lively lines are a lot better. I think I want to keep more along this style. I did have trouble with the leg on this horse. As you can see, it looks like it's a little bit stiff, but not to worry, it's progress. And I also did the same thing in stick figures like we do when we're practicing drawing humans. Sometimes we just use the stick figure as an amateur to get started. So I thought, yeah, we could do that with horses. So that's what I did. And I thought that was quite good. And actually, I think having the stick figures underneath helps fill out the forms and the shapes of the horse. I think this one probably would have been more accurate as far as this half of the horse goes than the way that I did this, because there's obviously something going wrong there. But yeah, so I thought that was a really good help. So I would recommend that exercise for anyone who is learning to draw anything in particular. So I did do some drawings in my little sketch, my horsey sketchbook. So I will go and show you. Gotta find the pages. So I did do where is it? The gesture. Another gesture. I've just used these so I can find my pages, but I don't seem to be able to find them. Hang on. Here we go. Looks like it's upside down. It's not upside down. It was a horse that was laying on the ground. The picture, the reference was actually looks like that. But I thought, no, that's weird. I wanted to actually draw it on the ground because I thought that would be a really challenging pose. And I didn't time myself. I just sat down. I thought, you know what? I'm just going to draw for as long as it takes for me to be happy with this drawing of a horse. And yeah, I don't know how long it took me, but it took me more than 5 minutes. More than the five minutes that I spend on these types of ones. So it's more of a drawing than a sketch. But yeah, I like it. I really like it. I thought that came out quite well. I'm quite happy with how I represented the shapes, how I was able to understand how the horse is actually laying on the ground and the legs are kind of splayed up. And also the orientation of the head was quite difficult. So I'm quite happy that I was able to get it somewhat in the ballpark. So that was the gesture that I did in my sketchbook, because I did write down that as one of my goals. And then I went ahead and I did a form. I'm quite sure I did a form, but I just need to find it. There it is, there. So I picked it was a little bit of a weird pose for a horse. It was a picture of a palomino that was kind of jumping, so it almost had all legs off the ground. This one was, I think, just being lifted off the ground. So I did my little armature underneath. You can probably see in pencil, just maybe. I haven't scanned these in yet, so these will be scanned in and packaged up in a PDF file for my Patreon. So I haven't done that yet. And then you can see the stick figure form of the horse. I'm really starting to see how the hips are working. So I was quite happy with that. I actually had to have a couple of goes at that for this one because I wasn't able to rotate it enough at first. I don't know, when I draw, I tend to straighten things up too much or not put them in perspective enough. And so I did have a couple of goes at that, but I think I was able to manage it in the end to a degree that I'm happy with. So that's my little stick figure. So that actually, if I'm having a really difficult pose of a horse or trying to think of a pose for a horse, this is the first step in letting me draw from imagination without a reference. And it is also the first step in for me to be able to draw different viewpoints from a reference. So I just did an outline over it just so I could see the horse in this one. So yeah, I was quite happy with that. So I did do, was this from last time? I can't remember. No, I think I did this one. If it's the same as last week, I do apologise. I just can't remember. But yeah, I had to go at the legs, the back legs, and putting everything together. Obviously, these are the quadriceps that I wanted to have a look at in this one. And I did fill in the surrounding muscle area because I thought, why not? And I did start moving down here, trying to figure out the extensors and the flexors, I think they are. And here you can see the quadriceps on the connecting on from a front view. So this is the kneecap and all the little ligaments. I watched a dissection video to see how all the little ligaments were, and it was actually quite fascinating. So, because I put gestures right in the middle of my sketchbook, I've had to put bookmarks to figure out where everything else is. As you do, so it's a bit of a jumble. I might make another sketchbook, to be honest. I might make another dedicated horse sketchbook in the future. So these were the previous ones that I did. I did them, but I don't really need to know all of these little muscles in the back. But yeah, and then I tried to have a go at grouping them up to see what groups I could make, just to make my job of drawing a horse easier, while keeping it somewhat anatomically accurate. And then I had to go at legs. just the legs. I actually wanted to do more of this, and you can see I'm working. This is where I'm working out all these extensor muscles. Yeah, trying to figure out the groupings and how it all looks. And I even had to go at the inside of the thigh on this one. So this is attached to the other side of the pelvis. Yeah, it's quite fascinating when you look at how horses' legs work, especially when you get down to this area down here. There's not really muscles. There's more tendons and ligaments holding it all together and just making it all move. The whole locomotion system of the horse is quite fascinating. But yeah, so I did have a go at that, and that was it, because that was just all I could do as far as drawing for this past week. Like I said, I am under stress at the moment. I'm trying to work my way out of it. It is self-inflicted. No one is to blame. I can't blame anyone outside of the house for it. It is my own fault and my own silly system. I don't know. I get very, very sensitive to noises, especially yelling and loud noises, or just noises out of the ordinary. I don't know. Even inside the house, sometimes a particular noise can just send me from 1 to 11 as far as stress goes, and sometimes even just instant anger. It's just drive me crazy, and it seems like I don't have control over it. So it is stressing me out because, you know, people are on holidays at the moment, so everyone's at home and, you know, making noise and things like that. And like I said, it's not their fault. They are allowed to do what they need to do. Obviously, it's with me, and I need to work that out. But the thing is, being like that just makes it really hard for me to concentrate. I cannot concentrate. I cannot focus because all I'm thinking about is outside noises. Now, I have been wearing my headphones. I have been wearing earplugs and whatnot, but my ears get sore after a while. I think I need to go and live out in the bush. Just out in nature somewhere, or I don't know. I don't know. An isolated island somewhere. But yeah, obviously it is something that I need to figure out a solution to. Obviously I can't keep earplugs in my ears 24/7 because I would just get sore, because they do just get sore. Sometimes I leave the house, I go out for a walk, but sometimes I just can't get into the headspace. So that is something I'm working on. And because of that, these weekly roundup videos, so this is kind of what I'm leading up to. These weekly roundup videos are not going to be so weekly anymore, because I'm starting to find the stress of making them every week a little bit too much at the moment. It might change in the future, but right now I think what I need to do is I need to just chill. I need to just, calm my farm, just chill and just find ways to just relax through the stress if I can, and putting myself under the pump with all these weekly goals and getting things done, and then not being able to do them is just adding to my general anxiety, I guess. I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, so these weekly roundup videos are going to be made from now on until I get through this. They will just be made when I feel like making them. So I'm not going to give them up, but I'm not going to put a video out if I've got nothing to show, because there might be some weeks where I don't have much to show at all. And I don't want to make a video if I've only done one thing. I might make a post on Threads or something like that showing the one thing that I did, but yeah, I'm just going to just settle for a little bit and just let things flow a little bit more organically for me. I think I want to concentrate on doing a bit more painting, getting into the flow of doing more oil paintings and not having to worry about recording them and editing and all of that kind of stuff. All the social media I'm going to step back from. I'm not going to stop, but I'm just going to step back and just do, if I make a post, it's going to be because I feel like it, not because I'm obligated. I feel obligated that I need to keep posting, otherwise people are going to forget about me. Because the truth is, if people are going to forget about me because I'm not posting for a while, then so be it. I need to find that space where I can just be who I am without being influenced or pressured into trying to be something that I'm not. And I'm not, right now, I'm not in the space where I can just post regularly. So that's that. So I did do some little paintings. Actually, I'm missing one. Hang on. Right, so I did this one during that week off. So it's all nice and dry now. I wanted to have a go at doing a little bit more of a clouds in the background. I do want to try and start putting a little bit more of a background in. So, yeah. I don't think I did very well. I don't think this is very good. The clouds are just look like a mess to me. But, yeah. So anyway, but this week, earlier in the week, I did this one. I actually really, really like it. It looks sharp. It looks like it's still wet. It's still glistening a little bit. Could be. Well, it's not coming off. But there are some really thick globs of paint on there. You can see in the main. But yeah, I enjoyed this one. I had a bit of an issue getting the tape off because I put the tape on and then I primed the cardboard. So normally if I prime the cardboard first and then put the tape on, there's a bit of a barrier between the tape and the cardboard. It doesn't rip, but I didn't do that this time, so there's quite a bit of rippage. But yeah, I like the colours. I actually even like the background. It's kind of nondescript. But yeah, I think it works. I love the main. Actually, I think I did a really good job with this one. So that's that one. Then I had a go at this one. This one's kind of okay. I wanted to have a go with, like I said, with the background. And also this had an extra challenge for me because this has 2 horses. So this is a 2-horse problem. I've not done 2 horses before, so I don't think I have. I might have, but I don't remember. But yeah, I really like that white one. The face on the white one came out really nice. They're in a body of water. I think in the reference it was a river, and there was like a desert behind them. But I got rid of that, and I ended up making it look a little bit misty. I did have a few goes at different backgrounds to see how I could treat the background, but I ended up I didn't like it, so I smushed it all together, and I thought, you know what, that'll do. That'll do. There's a little bit of, like, it's not all flat, but it kind of gives a sort of misty look. I had to make up the extra for the horse, and this is where the anatomy will come in handy. If my reference only has part of the horse and the rest of it is missing, if with my anatomy knowledge that I'm building up, I should feel comfortable in filling in the rest of the missing horse. That's all right. I like the water. I don't know what it is that I don't particularly care for about this. I can't quite pick it yet, so I can't really give it that much of a critique. It's just something, maybe it's something about the horse in the front that just doesn't click with me. But yeah, so that's that one. And then I thought, because I did write down on the things that I wanted to do, I wanted to just paint something else. So anything. So I thought I'd go back and have a look at, I had some photos where I went for a walk through a botanical gardens nearby, and I took some photos. But all the photos are quite complicated, have a lot of things going in them. And I thought, you know what, this is fine, because not this picture, but the complexity of it, I thought that's fine, because I don't know what I'm doing. I'm not a landscape painter. I'd like to be able to do some landscape painting. I'd actually like to be quite an all-rounder when it comes to oil painting. But I'm not practiced in it. I did have a lot of trouble with this. This took quite a while for me, and I wasn't able to really convey the photo. If I remember, I'll put a photo up on the screen somewhere around here, just so you can see what it was that I was trying to paint. I couldn't get the decking right. The decking was reflecting blue from the sky, but I just couldn't get that right. And the dappling I couldn't get. For some reason I couldn't get right. And it was really hard, because it was just this massive nature across. There was bamboo on this side, and I don't know what kind of thing it was on that side. But yeah, I had a go at it, and I just had the attitude of, well, this isn't what I normally paint, so it's okay if I stuff up. And I wanted to be able to let that go, just paint badly. And I think I did a good job of that. I did a good job of that. And that's basically all I've got. That's all I did. That's all I did for this week. And this was all I did for last week. Like I said, I have been working on a private oil painting, which is a portrait, and that is something that I'm not practiced with. It's a portrait that I started over a year ago in acrylics, but I didn't have the skill to pull it off. I just didn't have the skills. So I put it aside. It's been sitting on an easel for probably even 2 years, maybe, nearly. I don't know. It's been a long time. It did collect dust. But once I broke out the oil paints, I thought, oh, you know what? I'm going to have a go at that. So I'm not going to show it, because it is a private one, and I don't feel that that's something that I need to show everyone. But yeah, I did do a couple of sessions on that, and I quite like the results so far. So I'm still just playing around with it, and hopefully one day I'll actually finish it. But it got me to thinking that, maybe I can draw. Maybe I can paint more than horses. But the thing is, I still haven't done my body of work. My goal was to create a body of work of horse paintings, and I haven't done that yet. I've only done one. So that was the one from last time. And I do want to create more. So I need to work on that first before I start heading to another subject. But in my free time, I guess, in my free paint time, because it can't all be horses, I can explore different things like I did with this one. So that's what I'll do. And in my morning sketches, I also do explore different subjects like cats, animals, and whatnot. One of these days, I would actually like to be able to go out and go and sit in a park somewhere and just draw, but I'm not that brave just yet, so we'll see. We'll see in the future. So that's it. That is also my announcement. The videos are not going to be as frequent or as regular as what they have been. They're going to be on my terms. Not YouTube terms. I felt pressured. I did feel the pressure to create every week, to create a couple of videos a week, and it was just too much workload for me. But, they say that you need to You need to do that to get anywhere. And honestly, I'm still not getting anywhere. And that frustration of seeing that hardly anyone is watching my videos, that I'm not reaching anybody, that kind of, it is a little bit disappointing, and it does influence the stuff that I'm working on. It also influences my mood. That's when this week I thought, you know what? I forgot that I create videos when I create them because I enjoy putting that out there, and not because I feel obligated to put it out there. And so I want to go back to that. Screw the algorithm. Screw the algorithms. Screw social media. Well, that's a bit harsh, isn't it? But what I mean is, you've got to post every day, you've got to do this, you've got to do that, or no one's going to see you. So what? So what? I don't care anymore. I really don't care. I just want to do art. And I do want to spread the message and discoveries of the art journey. But if no one sees that, then that's fine, because I get to experience it. And that's the main thing. That's the point. Whether this goes anywhere or not, I don't know. I think I've been trying to force myself into a hole. Not force myself into a hole, but force myself into I don't know, what's the word? Probably more so force myself into a system that I don't find very friendly. I mean, and when I say that I don't find very friendly, to me, I mean that it feels more like a machine. Some weird machine which just sucks everything up that it rolls over and spits it out, and only some of the stuff that gets sucked up actually becomes part of the machine. The rest of it just gets minced up and chucked out into the back, just chucked out like poop. I don't know if I want to be a part of that. I just don't know. But yeah, so that's where I'm at the moment. I suppose I don't really need to worry about too much of what I'm saying in these videos because hardly anyone watches them. I'm really, really grateful for the people that do. I hope that I give a message that, in my videos, I hope I give a message that art is open to everybody, and that there is something that everybody can learn from it, because there are some really great insights and discoveries to be made about yourself, art, and your relationship, how you see it. And then that also spills over to how you see the world. And it does make some profound changes sometimes. And it also just allows you to see the beauty that does exist in the world, where before you might have just been walking along the road with your, looking at your phone. Instead of looking at your phone, you can look up at the clouds and just see how beautiful they are. Or see the little flower that's sprouting up between bricks against all the odds. Things like that everyone misses. I think I've rambled on long enough. And so I will edit this one at some stage. I will edit this one at some stage, the one I'm doing right now. I do have a lot of videos. I think I've got quite a few videos already out. So in the meantime, you can go back and have a look at some of the other ones. I used to do reviews, I think a couple of years ago, and those are still up on the internet, on my YouTubes in the past. So yeah, you can go and check out those. Those are more on drawing people. That feels like a different journey nowadays. But anyway, I'm going to go, and I don't know what I'm going to do. Well, I guess I'll go and listen to some music and chill out, and maybe do some drawing. Keep drawing. And that's been my motto, is to keep drawing. So I will keep drawing. I will keep painting. I will keep painting as well. And I will see you next time. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone, for watching. I really appreciate it. Bye.